So tonight we had the return of Johnny Bones Jones in the heavyweight division for the first time. His debut at heavyweight after a 3-year hiatus to put on the weight and size he felt like he needed in order to be a heavyweight champion. And he said he was going to do it. Said his greatest of all time, and if he came back and he won that heavyweight title, there was no way you could argue it. And Dana White agreed. And let's be real. If anyone could take 3 years off from this sport and come back for a title shot and win, it's got to be Jon Jones. Now, this title fight was also called the most undeserved title fight of all time by the great Chael Sonnen. Now, what Uncle Chael had to say about this was very well put and a fair statement. You got to admit it. Even if you disagree, you got to admit he's got a point. Because of the fact that Ciryl Gane did not look good against Francis Ngannou. I mean, Francis Ngannou wrestling? When the fuck does that happen? When is he not just knocking people out? Right? So we've got Jon Jones, who's never fought in the division, hasn't been in the sport for 3 years, fighting Ciryl Gane, who got demolished by Francis Ngannou and out-wrestled by him. And Jon Jones is known as a wrestler. He's been wrestling since he was 12. So what happens? Well, about a minute into the fight, Jon drags Ciryl right down to the ground effortlessly because he's Jon Jones fighting Ciryl Gane. Then, what goes on after there? Well, Jon ends up in a little bit of a scramble with Ciryl on the ground. They end up against the cage. Ciryl's sitting, his back's against the cage. Jon's on top of him, heavy as usual. Just, wait, push your head down, be heavy on top of you, make it hard to breathe, make it uncomfortable, make it hurt. Works his hand under that chin. Good old guillotine. And what happens? We're about a minute and a half into the fight now. Jon Jones is your new heavyweight champion of the world in the UFC. And new. Imagine that shit. Imagine that. Not only that, but he did it without really giving anything away. And that's the real thing here that I think a lot of people may miss. Chael's not going to miss it. Jesse on Fire's not going to miss it. There are people who won't miss it. And those aren't who I'm talking about. I'm talking about fight fans. Fight fans are going to miss this part right here. Jon Jones' athleticism, his ability, his skill, his speed, his strengths, his weaknesses, moving up to heavyweight, it's all still a mystery. We really don't know. We didn't have nearly enough to go on to say whether or not Jon Jones is the best heavyweight we've ever seen, or if he's just so naturally athletically gifted that he's the best we've ever seen. You can love him, you can hate him, you can do what I did and see the fact that he says, hey, they changed the rules for about these picograms, so I'm vindicated and I'm better now. That no contest for those picograms, that's a victory now. That's a win now. And the fact of the matter is not. Now, any true fight fan will tell you that no contest is not a loss. You still won the fight. It's just on your record as a no contest. But you won the fight. You just violated the rules that would give you the win next to your name on your record. And you can't go back and change that. You can't go rewrite the way it was done. The rules at the time were written down, and you were above the limit. No contest. You won the fight, absolutely, but they're going to call it a no contest. That's the way it goes. You can't just change it because they changed the way that they do their judgment on the testing. That's not the way it works. It doesn't change the fact that he's still the GOAT, man. You can't deny it. And then what's he do? He has his interview with Joe Rogan, and he gives you the GOAT bah on his way out. Gotta love it.